15 painted cards from a vampire tarot. 0. The Fool. What do you want? The young man had come to the graveyard every night for a month now. He had watched the moon paint the cold granite and the fresh marble and the old moss-covered stones and statues in its cold light. He had started at shadows and at owls. He had watched courting couples and drunks and teenagers taking nervous shortcuts, all the people who come through the graveyard at night. He slept in the day. Nobody cared. He stood alone in the night and shivered in the cold. It came to him then that he was standing on the edge of a precipice. The voice came from the night all around him, in his head and out of it. What do you want? It repeated. He wondered if he dared to turn and look, realized he did not. Well, you come here every night to a place where the living are not welcome. I have seen you. Why? I wanted to meet you, he said, without looking around. I want to live forever. His voice cracked as he said it. He had stepped over the precipice. There was no going back. In his imagination, he could already feel the prick of needle-sharp fangs in his neck, a sharp prelude to eternal life. The sound began. It was low and sad, like the rushing of an underground river. It took him several long seconds to recognize it as laughter. This is not life, said the voice. It said nothing more, and after a while the young man knew he was alone in the graveyard. 1. The Magician. They asked Saint Germain's manservant if his master was truly 1,000 years old, as it was rumored he had claimed. How would I know? The man replied. I have only been in the master's employ for 300 years. 2. The Priestess. Her skin was pale, and her eyes were dark, and her hair was dyed black. She went on a daytime talk show and proclaimed herself a vampire queen. She showed the cameras her dentally crafted fangs and brought on ex-lovers who, in various stages of embarrassment, admitted that she had drawn their blood and that she drank it. You can be seen in a mirror, though? Asked the talk show hostess. She was the richest woman in America and had got that way by bringing the freaks and the hurt and the lost out in front of her cameras and showing their pain to the world. The studio audience laughed. The woman seemed slightly affronted. Yes, contrary to what people may think, vampires can be seen in mirrors and on television cameras. Well, that's one thing you finally got right, honey, said the hostess of the daytime talk show. But she put her hand over her microphone as she said it, and it was never broadcast. 5. The Pope. This is my body, he said 2,000 years ago. This is my blood. It was the only religion that delivered exactly what it promised: life eternal for its adherents. There are some of us alive today who remember him, and some of us claim that he was a messiah, and some think that he was just a man with very special powers. But that misses the point. Whatever he was, he changed the world. 6. The Lovers. After she was dead, she began to come to him in the night. He grew pale, and there were deep circles under his eyes. At first, they thought he was mourning her, and then one night, he was gone. It was hard for them to obtain permission to disinter her, but they got it. They hauled up the coffin, and they unscrewed the lid. Then they prized what they found out of the box. There was 6 inches of water in the bottom. The iron had colored it a deep orangish red. There were 2 bodies in the coffin, hers, of course, and his. He was more decayed than she was. Later, someone wondered aloud how both of them had fitted in a coffin built for one, especially given her condition, he said, for she was obviously very pregnant. This caused some confusion. for she had not been noticeably pregnant when she was buried. Still later, they dug her up for one last time at the request of the church authorities, who had heard rumors of what had been found in the grave. Her stomach was flat. The local doctor told them all that it had just been gas and bloating as the stomach swelled. The townsfolk nodded, almost as if they believed them. 7. The chariot. It was genetic engineering at its finest. They created a breed of human to sail the stars. They needed to be possessed of impossibly long lifespans, for the distances between the stars were vast. Space was limited, and their food supplies needed to become compact. They needed to be able to process local sustenance and to colonize the worlds they found with their own kind. The home world wished the colonists well and sent them on their way. They removed all traces of their location from the ship's computers first, however, to be on the safe side. 10. The Wheel of Fortune. What did you do with the doctor? She asked and laughed. I thought the doctor came in here 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry, I said. I was hungry. And we both laughed. I'll go find her for you, she said. I sat in the doctor's office picking my teeth. After a while, the assistant came back. I'm sorry, she said. The doctor must have stepped out for a while. Can I make an appointment for you next week? I shook my head. I'll call, I said. But for the first time that day, I was lying. 11. Justice. It is not human, said the magistrate, and it does not deserve the trial of a human being. Ah, said the advocate, but we cannot execute it without a trial. There are the precedents. A pig that had eaten a child who had fallen into its sty. It was found guilty and hanged. A swarm of bees found guilty of stinging an old man to death were burned by the public hangman. We owe the hellish creature no less. The evidence against the baby was incontestable. It amounted to this. A woman had brought the baby from the country. She said it was hers and that her husband was dead. She lodged at the house of a coachmaker and his wife. The old coachmaker complained of melancholia and lassitude, and was, with his wife and their lodger, found dead by their servant. The baby was alive in its cradle, pale and wide-eyed, and there was blood on its face and lips. The jury found the little thing guilty beyond all doubt, and condemned it to death. The executioner was the town butcher. In the sight of all the town, he cut the baby. He cut the babe in two, and flung the pieces onto the fire. His own baby had died earlier that same week. Infant mortality in those days was a hard thing, but common. The butcher's wife had been broken-hearted. She had already left the town to see her sister in the city, and within the week the butcher joined her. The three of them, butcher, wife, and babe, made the prettiest family you ever did see. 14. Temperance. She said she was a vampire. One thing I already knew, the woman was a liar. You could see it in her eyes. Black as coals they were, but she never quite looked at you. Black as coals they were, but she never quite looked at you, staring at invisibles over your shoulder, behind you, above you, 2 inches in front of your face. What does it taste like? I asked her. This was in the parking lot behind the bar. She worked the graveyard shift in the bar, makes the finest drinks, but never drank anything herself. V8 juice, she said. Not the low sodium kind, but the original. Or a salty gazpacho. What's gazpacho? A sort of vegetable soup? You're shitting me. No. So you drink blood? Just like I drink V8? Not exactly, she said. If you get a get sick of drinking V8, you can drink something else. Yeah, I said. Actually, I don't like V8 much. See? She said. In China, it's not blood we drink, it's spinal fluid. What's that taste like? Nothing much. Clear broth. You've tried it? I know people. I tried to figure out if I could see her reflection in the wing mirror of the truck we were leaning against, but it was dark, and I couldn't tell. 15. The Devil. This is his portrait. Look at his flat, yellow teeth, his ruddy face. He has horns, and he carries a foot-long wooden stake in one hand and his wooden mallet in the other. Of course, there is no such thing as the devil. 16. The Tower. The tower's built of spit and spite, without a sound, without a sight. The biter bit, the bitter bite. It's better to be out at night. 17. The Star. The older, richer ones follow the winter, taking the long nights where they find them. Still, they prefer the northern hemisphere to the south. You see that star? They say, pointing to one of the stars in the constellation of Draco, the dragon. We came from there. One day we shall return. The younger ones sneer and jeer and laugh at this. Still, as the years become centuries, they find themselves becoming homesick for a place they have never been, and they find the northern climes reassuring, as long as Draco twines about the greater and lesser bears up near chill Polaris. 19. The Sun. Imagine, she said, that there was something in the sky that was going to hurt you, perhaps even kill you. A huge eagle or something. Imagine that if you went out in daylight, the eagle would get you. Well, she said, that's how it is for us. Only it's not a bird. It's bright, beautiful, dangerous daylight. And I haven't seen it now in 100 years. 20. Judgment. It's a way of talking about lust without talking about lust, he told them. It's a way of talking about sex and fear of sex and death and fear of death. And what else is there to talk about? 22. The World. You know the saddest thing, she said? The saddest thing is that we're you. I said nothing. In your fantasies, she said, my people are just like you, only better. We don't die or age or suffer from pain or cold or thirst. We are snappier dressers. We possess the wisdom of the ages. And if we crave blood, well, it is no more than the way you people crave food or affection or sunlight. And besides, it gets us out of the house. Crypt, coffin, whatever. And the truth is, I asked her, we're you, she said. We're you, with all your fuck ups and all the things that make you human. All your fears and lonelinesses and confusions. None of that gets better. But we're colder than you are, deader. I miss daylight and food and knowing how it feels to touch someone and care. I remember life and meeting people as people and not just as things to feed on or control. And I remember what it was to feel something, anything, happy or sad or anything. And then she stopped. Are you crying? I asked. We don't cry, she told me. Like I said, the woman was a liar.